When you go somewhere and it's like 5 stars, if you've ever been somewhere 5 stars, you expect the highest in everything. Room quality, the area you're in, management, customer service. You've paid so much money to stay in a 5 star place. You want 5 star service all round. This is Tris though. She was visiting China and she stayed at one of the Hyatt resorts, which is a huge 5 star establishment, right? Around the world. And she had this crazy situation happen where when she decided to complain about it, the management kind of flipped the script a little bit. It was like, but wait a minute, you're doing something illegal. It's a crazy story. I've just finished watching it so I can introduce it. Let's get into it. Okay, so on screen here it says POV, you book a dream 5 star hotel in China, but the trumpets genuinely start getting louder. So for anyone who doesn't know, the trend is the saxophones keep getting louder. There's this content trend on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, where it's like you're doing something, but the situation keeps getting worse. And the saying is the saxophones keep getting louder, and as the sound of a saxophone playing quiet and it gets louder and louder, the worse the situation gets. So that's what's happening within this TikTok.
Is that normal for here? Follows other people into the elevator?
Yes, but
Oh.
the other guests will also will see this.
So people have also called to complain about this?
Yes. 把它
On screen it says, it's so bad the manager tries to blame you for the crime. So clearly something has gone horribly wrong and scary by the looks of it within this hotel. Yes, we need the story time. Let's
I'm just
go.
here to remind you that even if you book a 5 star hotel, you are not 100% safe. So get ready with me while I tell you about my experience paying thousands of dollars at a luxury hotel only to be completely anxious during my stay and get accused of fraud. This was low-key
What?
the reason why I stopped posting my China travel content, because I felt like I couldn't post fun travel content while dealing with this very real situation that I was put in.
For sure.
And I was just not ready to talk about it at the time. But I was recently editing some clips for my YouTube channel, which I just started. I got to the part where I was dealing with this hotel situation. It got me frustrated all over again. Let me be transparent and say the situation is not as black and white as it may seem. So we were staying at the Andas, which is a Hyatt affiliated hotel chain in Nanjing. We were staying
Higher, very high rated hotels. 5 stars usually.
there for about 7 days. This incident happened on the 4th day. The hotel was situated right on top of a mall, so restaurants were easily accessible, which I really liked. One thing I really appreciated was that there was no smoke smells in the hallways. The rooms were super spacious and clean. We had generally a really great stay until this happened. So we got a letter in our room notifying us the hotel was hosting a pool party later that night, supposed to
My idea of hell. A public party for strangers. No thank you. Leave me the fuck alone. That would be my response.
end around 9 or 10 o'clock. But at 11:30, we could still hear the music booming from below us. So we called the concierge.
That's annoying. That is
and they
annoying.
immediately moved us to another floor, which was
Great.
slay. We love that. So by the time we finished settling in, it was already around 12:30. So my boyfriend went downstairs to take a little break and make some calls. When he came back, a woman followed him into the elevator and onto our floor. She then asked him,
Okay. So from my experience in Hyatt hotels is usually you need the key, you press it on the elevator number pad, and then you press it, and then you press the number. So it's very secure. Only people staying in that hotel can go to whatever floor they're going to. And usually the key can only take you to the floor you are staying on, right? Somebody to walk in who doesn't have a key into the elevator with you means they have no choice but to go to the floor you are staying on.
to come into our room, asked if he wanted her to provide services. So obviously he says no, but then she insists and says, if you're busy now, you can add my WeChat and then we can hook up later. Again, he says no, and then we immediately report it to the staff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was not the actual victim of sexual harassment. My boyfriend actually was. What surprised us is that when we were reporting this, the staff were pretty nonchalant. He didn't even act surprised when we were telling him what just happened. He was saying,
Okay, can I say something? Okay, as somebody who has worked in luxury establishments, shopping places, clubs, this behavior is sometimes encouraged, right? As in, they allow it to happen, but they will take a cut. The establishment will take a cut. And that could be the manager, not off like the whole the Hyatt knows about this, let's say. It could be the manager of that particular hotel is like, okay, that's fine. You come in, do your thing, but I'm going to take 20%. I'm going to take 30%. And everything's all fine and good. I'll pretend you aren't here. So that could be why the reaction might be a little bit...
that they were actually getting multiple reports of this happening. It was probably because of the pool party. A little bit of background context. This was right around the time that Hong Jie, Sister Hong, or Sister Red, was all over the news in China. And this was in his city, Nanjing. So I was not sure how normalized SW was in
sex work. So you can say sex work, right? So Sister Red, correct me if I'm wrong, was this guy who got in a lot of trouble because he dressed up as a woman and invited guys to his or her. Sorry, I actually don't know if it's they. We'll say they. I don't know how they identify. They dressed as a woman, appeared as a woman with makeup, everything like that. Invited men into their room, their apartment, and performed sexual acts on them for money. The thing is, people did not realize that this person had male genitalia, and I think everything leaked. All the videos leaked because they filmed it secretly. The Sister Red filmed it secretly, and it all leaked online. There were actors, there were influencers. It went crazy.
This area, but when I asked around with all of my friends if this is normal, and even the staff in the video, he was saying, no, this is not normal. We're getting multiple reports, so we're looking into it and we'll find these people responsible. So here I am hearing multiple reports. Like, I don't know if this is men, women, how many. Like, I was completely anxious that night. So I spent that night unable to sleep. And then the next morning, I requested to speak to the on-duty manager. So when I asked him, are you aware of what happened last night? He looked into his little chart and asked our room number. And then he looks into the files and he goes, oh yeah, I'm really sorry about the noise complaint. Turns out a report was never filed about...
Okay, so does that mean the manager they reported it to is who just was on duty during the pool party? This is all alleged. This is just me thinking, by the way. I'm not accusing anyone at the Hyatt and this place of this. Could that person have been the one who was making a little bit of profit from these services?
A woman following us into our hotel room. Then we're rehashing what happened. And then he goes, okay, we're going to look into it again. Meanwhile, another party was scheduled for the next day. Have to make a part 2, I know, about the hotel management response, because that was also just insane. It's so much information. But honestly, I need your guys' opinion because I'm not actually Chinese. I'm Vietnamese, but I was born in Canada. But is the situation different now that it's my boyfriend getting followed around in the hotel room? Because I feel like, man or woman, anyone following anyone into a hotel to pressure them into a sexual service is not okay. And if this was a hotel hosted pool party, they should be responsible for keeping their guests safe. This is mostly a safety issue.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you were going to host a pool party, right, to me, that would say drink, alcohol, maybe up for security a little bit by the elevators, by the list. Maybe you have one in the elevators. I don't know. Come on, you have a Hyatt. You can afford it.
This is maybe a cultural difference. This is a Hyatt affiliated hotel. So there should be some sort of standardized level of care and safety.
Agree.
I'm literally filming part 2 right now. I'm not an influencer, so please be patient with me. I did not expect this kind of response.
Okay, so we have this couple in a luxury 5-star hotel in China. There's a pool party going on in the hotel. At the hotel are partying on themselves. The boyfriend goes down to check out, like, whatever, something from their room, and is followed by a woman saying, do you want some services? You know, that kind of services. a sex worker, and he's like, no, thank you. But the sex worker is like, no, come on, come on. If now's not a good time, add me on WeChat, which is like WhatsApp almost, and we can take it from there. So it's inappropriate for some people, so they complain. The manager on duty at the time says, okay, I'm so sorry, we'll deal with it. Our girl here can't sleep. She's like, this is actually really, really bad. When she speaks to the manager in the morning, she's like, were you told what happened? The manager's basically like, oh, well, not really, no. They made a complaint about noise, and that's what he brings up. So he has not been told. Let's see what happens next.
I'm just here to remind you. So you would think after reporting something serious like this that the manager would take it seriously, right?
Yeah.
So it's the next morning, and the manager evidently knows nothing of the
Right, the manager knows nothing of the situation. Here's the thing, right? You would be like, in this situation, okay, we're going to give you a free night. We're going to knock off one of the nights and refund you for a night. Or we're going to give you a voucher for hotels. So businesses partner with hotels, right? We're going to give you this. We're going to give you something to say we are so sorry. We're so sorry. Here, have a Hyatt candle. You know what I mean?
situation that happened last night. Tell him everything. And he says, okay, just give us some more time and we're gonna do an investigation and find out what happened. So I go out still, I'm traveling, I'm here on vacation, so I do not want to be dealing with all of this.
Yeah,
The party
right.
is scheduled for later on that night, so I was getting kind of worried. The nighttime comes and I'm hearing no updates or no response from anyone. So I have to
Don't
come
say it
up to
happens
hotel front
again.
desk and ask them what's happening. We were told we had to wait until the following morning to speak to the on-duty manager. The attitude of this on-duty manager was just super dismissive the entire time. It did not look like he was considering this to be a big issue. Eventually, he was telling us that the cameras in the elevator and the hallway didn't actually record any audio, and there was no way to verify our claim. So he was saying that since there was not any recorded evidence, even if they report it to police, there's not much that they could do. It wasn't like we were asking him to find this
But-
lady. We were just raising
Right, it's just like an inconvenience happened. We don't feel safe within your establishment. What can you do? And I know something like, you know, a drinks voucher isn't like, oh, it won't fix anything, but it's a suggestion that eases, like, you know, they care. They just want to be shown a lot of the time that somebody cares something happened
a
to them.
safety concern at this hotel, but his attitude was just very dismissive, and he
Yeah.
was just acting like, well, it already happened, nothing we can do now. We still had a day or two left of our reservation, so we asked, is there any way we could get a refund or anything like that? Because
Yeah.
this whole situation was just managed very improperly and we don't feel safe. He immediately said no, that's not possible. When we pushed further, he said, okay, maybe like $20. $20? A hotel stay for one night at this place costs around $300. Immediately saying, no, that's not acceptable. Then we asked if there was anyone we could talk to higher up because we felt like we weren't being taken seriously. I would just like another party involved. So then he was like begrudgingly saying like, oh no, there's no manager on today because it's a Sunday. You can leave your phone number and I'll get back to you. And then after we asked to escalate this, he turns around and he says, oh, by the way, this is unrelated, but actually we're gonna investigate you guys because we think there's some fraudulent activity going on. We were in shock, like where is this even coming from? So for background context, our friend actually checked us in for the first few nights of our stay as a treat to us because we're visiting from out of the country and they just wanted to do something nice for us. We explained
Cute.
everything to the staff and they said it was completely fine as long as all parties involved are present at check-in and check-out. We even extended our stay to explain everything again to another staff member, which they also agreed was completely fine. The manager somehow got this information from the check-in people and then somehow made the assumption that my friend was not actually my friend. And
That's crazy. That's like the hotel are like, you experienced something illegal happening in our establishment? Well, you are also
that I
criminals.
was using someone to get a business discount on some rooms. So then the manager says, okay, if we launch our own investigation on this matter and we find out you're using a discount improperly, you guys are going to get fined for fraud and then your accounts are going to get suspended as well. There was absolutely nothing
What?
to substantiate this claim. And we paid out of our personal accounts. So I'm not sure where this came from. We were like, okay, do whatever you want. I would still like a follow-up call from whoever's higher up. He said that there's probably no one else that's going to talk to me, but he'll take my number and we'll see. So a few hours go by, I'm at dinner, and I get a call from someone. It was not actually another higher up manager. It was a supervisor for, I think, their food and beverage team. So we schedule a meeting, and this man has been super apologetic about this whole situation, and he acknowledges the on-duty manager was way out of line. The attitude from this assistant manager was completely different. Apologized.
Good.
He offered us dinner. He offered us car
Nice.
service. And then
So
we could
easy.
either choose to upgrade one of our rooms or alternatively at $100, which still isn't enough for the price of one room, but was more than the other guy offered us. But the point was never to receive compensation. We raised a
Right.
safety concern and we were completely dismissed
Right.
the entire time.
Right. Again, you just want to be let it be known that you have a fault within your hotel that sex workers can just approach anyone they want to. That's crazy.
So I let them know that I was probably going to be emailing corporate about this because it was just wildly
Yeah.
mismanaged.
Do it.
So I asked the assistant manager for the name of the on-duty manager because he was the main one I was having a lot of difficulty with. We had to ask at least 3 times for the name, and he would not give it to us initially because he was saying, oh, we're investigating ourselves internally. Like, could we just not deal with corporate or whatever? We kept asking, and then finally they gave me the name.
Good.
And this is why I'm advocating. If you know your situation is wrong and you feel like you're not
Yes.
being heard, you need
Yeah.
to stand your ground and get another person involved.
Absolutely.
Because if
Absolutely.
I stayed with that on-duty manager, who knows what kind of investigation he could have launched. I did end up emailing corporate and they didn't respond to me, so I don't really know what happened there. But yeah, that's my story.
So there's no update from this. You would think an establishment like the Hyatt would want to acknowledge the fact that, you know, this has happened, and then the manager was like, oh, also you're fraudsters. Like you would think they would want to say something, but she hasn't posted an update. There's nothing left of it. Let me know your opinions. Is anyone a manager in a hotel? Does this kind of stuff happen all the time? I know it happens in some places, but how would this work? What would you do if you were in this situation? If somebody approached you? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up and hype the video if you can. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.